Hi, everybody. I'm Loryan Strant, and welcome to another episode of 365 Unplugged. And I'm joined by my friend in matching headphones.
I do believe this episode, just for everyone out there, this episode is not sponsored by Microsoft Surface headphones. My name is Alistair Pugin, coming to you from the ever so glamorous Loryan's new house. Well, I'm not there, he is.
Well, it's not as glamorous as the last place. I don't have any of the stuff behind me. I've got just like a dated wardrobe. No pictures, no couch, no Transformers logo. None of the cool stuff is here. But, I'm still kind of unboxing.
All right, so you still have to get the man cave up and running.
Yes,
or the cave.
I do. The cave, yeah. Well, I share it with the wife, so
yes.
Yeah. There's a picture of Seattle here and a picture of Seattle there. So, hang on, let's do this. We've got a bit of that going on over there. And a bit of that going, there you go. What a fantastic tour of my study. Anyway, I'm pressed for time. We've been waffling on with some of these videos.
And I can barely see you. It looks like someone took off my spectacles. So.
Better?
No, you're still completely blurry.
Oh. That's the filtered view that you have with like the cameras that takes off 10 years. So I don't know.
That's weird. Is there no manual adjust on it?
I don't know. It is what it is. Let's continue on. At some point, we'll figure it out.
All right.
Okay. So 2 topics, time-wise. So what's your topic that you wanted to cover off?
Security and privacy in Teams. People don't talk enough about it. I've had enough. I want to talk about it.
All right. And I would like to talk about deleting Teams from Teams.
You did something about this. Was it on Twitter? I can't remember where I saw this.
I did a bit of blogging.
Was it an actual article?
Yeah, I did. Thanks. I'm so glad you keep up with my stuff. Let's paper, rock, scissors this and get the timer going.
All right. Well,
1, 2. Serious man with that delay, and 3.
What does that mean?
Snip, snip.
Oh, God. Okay.
All right. Hey, Cortana, set a timer for 10 minutes.
I'm counting down from 10 minutes.
Wow. First time. We've done this a few times.
All right. So deleting the Teams app in Teams. So look, where this came about was we've been talking about Teams for over 2 years, 2.5 years. So it's been in generally available at March 2017. And, those of us who live and breathe it, we're purists. We want it to be done right. With the provisioning, the life cycle, the expiry, the naming policy, with the file migrations, with the adoption and change management, all these kind of things. But what I'm seeing over and over is organizations, don't realize they need to do it properly. And they just do stuff and they give it available, make it available for people. But also, or they do try and do it properly and it takes too long. So one of the things that I've kind of looked at is how do you just get people off Skype for Business quickly, right? Just get them onto the Teams client as opposed to teamwork. So the premise that I've written a couple of little blog posts. One is you can give people the Teams client and simply not make them a member of Teams. So you have all the full functionality, they're just not members of Teams. And the second one is you can actually delete the Teams app using an app policy. It doesn't actually delete it, it just hides it. But same thing, if they're not a member of Team and you remove that Teams app, then basically you're just dealing with a different version of Skype for Business. That approach has gone.
No, carry on. I have 3 questions.
Well, the approach has been met with a little bit of resistance because people are saying, well, you're kind of sacrificing the user experience and you should do it properly. I'm like, yes, I agree. You should do it properly. But many people just want to get off Skype for Business. This is a way to get everybody onto the client so you can slowly start to open up the door for teamwork. It could be an org-wide team, so kind of like Yammer-like experience, depending on the size of the organization. Or it could be a let's set up a pilot, but that way you don't have to worry about the two client scenario. You're already on the right client. Anyway, I will stop waffling. Thoughts? 3 questions.
So right in the beginning, you spoke about governance compliance, doing it the right way, naming conventions, retention policies, conditional access policies. So out of the 140, 180 million users of Teams, there might be 3 tenants that actually does that.
Yeah.
Just what you'd like to know, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving people off Skype and giving them just Teams. I thought there was like a Teams Lite client where you can dial from, right? I don't know. No,
there is not.
So you just don't add them to a
It's
group.
the full
and then
Teams client.
full
Basically, what
Teams
you
client.
get is you're getting the chat, you're getting the
So no
meetings,
Teams.
getting the calls.
Okay.
Yeah, basically just no Teams, no teamwork.
I actually want to test that. I'd love to see what it looks like, just heuristically. What it looks
It's
like
amazing.
on a mobile device.
This guy has actually written a blog post. Have you heard about him? His name's Loryan Strant, and he's got screenshots on his blog post.
Oh wow!
I'll
Like when
put
he
the
posts
link here.
about Office 365 Unplugged and never ever puts a featured image onto that same blog post.
Oh, I'm sorry, the audio cut out there.
All right, so let's talk about moving Skype to Teams. I'm tickled pink about this, right? And no voice, so no voice breakout, just traditional.
Oh, no, you
I have
can still have voice. I don't care.
Yeah, but then you need an audio coach SPC setting somewhere with breakout, right? So there's a little bit of more panel beating for it.
Yeah, you're right. But if you've already got that, then you don't have to worry about introducing additional functionality by moving to Teams.
So what did people have with Skype that they're so scared of giving up? That's always my question.
It's a little bit of a UI experience. I think what people probably miss is the pop-up windows that Skype has. In that, you can have multiple IMs and they're smaller windows. I think people miss that, but if I think about it, I haven't dealt with that for months, if not a year plus. So you kind of get over it. But what I would say though, is going from Skype for business when it's instant messaging and so the thing is flashing to Teams chat. Teams chat is kind of like halfway between Skype for business instant messaging and an email. I find there's less instant pressure with the Teams chat because you can send it even when the person's offline, kind of like an email. I think there's a little bit of change management, but not much.
I tend to disagree with you completely there from the change management thing. And there's method in my madness. And I know you're staring at me strange, but it's great not being able to really see you. So today, literally while I was late today, I went to see a customer about moving off WSS3 to Office 365.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Now, I've seen, they've tested the limits of the character length in URLs, right?
Okay.
Because that's their folder structure. All right.
Wow.
And I sat with the customer and I showed him how to create a column in WSS, right? Because lo and behold, it was there since the beginning of time.
I think when the WSS, for those who don't know, is Windows SharePoint Services, 3.0 or 2.0 are you talking about here?
3. It was actually 3.0.
So that's 2007, we're going back.
Yeah. It shipped to Server 2008, some versions.
Yeah, that's actually.
Right. Yeah. And WSS 2 shipped to 2003. Yeah. But the customer was so scared of change that he froze up, literally froze up next to me. When I showed him how to create how to create a column in a library so that they could do logical groupings because they've got this folder structure of 12 levels deep. All I want is maybe. So I think it depends on the organization. You've got people that are comfortable working with Skype. The Skype interface has been around since the beginning of time, and moving them to a much wider interface.
Well, no, hang on. I'm going to stop you there. It hasn't been around since the beginning of time. We're talking about the Skype for Business interface, which has actually really only been around since 2015, because before that it was Link 2010, Link 2013.
Again, the same hovering window.
it had largely the same user experience, but the buttons were different, and the coloring was different, and those kind of things. So
Yeah,
I
but
think
Teams is all kinds of different, not a logical progression from here's a Skype for Business window to Teams. It went from Link to Skype for Business and subtle changes. Nothing that's going to hurt your eyes.
I get you, and I think we're probably both different sides of the same coin in that yes, there are differences in going from the Skype for Business client to the Teams client, but the icons and the buttons look largely the same. They're just in different places, and the user interface is different. So I think what it's less about is you used to do it this way, now you do it this way. It's more about the button was here, now it's here. And hey, here's a new button you didn't have before that can do this. And hey, the mobile client will do this. Because we've had so many poor experiences with Skype for Business that it's really hard to kind of fight back against. Whereas with Teams, the meeting experience is better, the calling experience is better. So I think it's more of a case of if you take away that teamwork functionality, it then becomes of you used to do it this way, you still do it this way, but the button's over here now. And instead of sending a file, it's in OneDrive. So I think the changes are very small. So what I'm saying is not that you don't have to worry about change management, because my wife will storm in here and kill me if I say something like that, and she'd be right to do so. But more so that the effort required to do that level of change is considerably smaller than introducing teamwork and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so great. That answers that question. The next one I had was about deleting the Teams app.
Yes.
Now, I'm not taken aback by it. I think it's a great idea. Remember, we did a session on switching everything off or switching everything on.
And we're on different sides of that battle.
I actually wrote an article about the price of innovation. I'm not sure if you read it.
I did. Yeah. I read your stuff.
I referenced our session at Ignite last year. So a lot of times I've dealt with customers where they're still using SharePoint on-prem and they don't want SharePoint in the cloud. Yep. Or they still have a file server and they don't want. I dealt with a customer 2 years ago that was hell-bent on not switching on OneDrive.
Yeah.
Immediately. So what did they do? They deleted OneDrive and they deleted SharePoint from the cloud. So I agree with you. Delete it, remove it. It's a weird term to use. I mean, OneDrive, there was all kinds of hackery that needed to be done, running PowerShell scripts and all of this. Are we done? Are we calling it today?
Done. Yeah.
All right, so in closing, I agree with you, and I think it's a good approach. And thank you for being with us.
And I need to vacate the room. Someone else needs to use it this hour.
Also, when you title this edition, please title this episode the Blur Edition.
Okay, we'll do. See you later.
All right, so cheers, bye.
Bye.